This is the fifth estate winning headlines, your media police post coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya, from the Fort Hall School of Government. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at some of the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 3rd of February 2022, and I am 2M.
I am CS.
And I am 2J, and in case you missed today's headlines, here they are. In the Daily Nation, Raila Kalonzo team plot mega alliance. The Standard, Bill seeks return of voting system last used in 2007. In the Star, live streaming of poll results to be scrapped. Bill. And in the People Daily, new law to ban live broadcast of poll results.
Beautiful.
A lot of speak about this new bill, but I think CS will give us a bit of context around that later. However, I want to start with the trial of Paul GICHERU, William Ruto's lawyer, which begins in just 12 days.
Oi.
On February 15th, the details of witness intimidation and bribery in William Ruto's ICC case will begin to trickle in. And once it does, Ruto's dreams of the presidency may remain just that, dreams.
Oi.
And yet, this has not been a topic of national conversation. Even Ruto himself has shied away from discussing this.
Yes.
This is a man who is not afraid to talk about anything.
Or anyone.
Or anyone. A man who will go to the president's own backyard to abuse and call him names. And yet, a case at The Hague is unfolding that incriminates his personal lawyer, and possibly him. William Ruto is silent. And so I ask, what is he afraid of? Why won't he defend himself?
Correct.
Is it possible that accusations of violence, crimes against humanity, and aggression are the soft underbelly to William Ruto's tough exterior? Consider why Kiambaa was such an important by-election to win. Is there a narrative that he wants to wipe clean?
Yeah.
If that's the case, why doesn't he dismiss the charges against GICHERU? Or at best, separate himself from the accusations? I mean, he has the playbook right in front of him from the 2013 election.
Yes.
Make ICC the object of aggression and rally the people behind you.
Yes.
In fact, that year had the highest voter turnout in the history of our electoral politics at 86%.
Right.
And this is because ICC was the bad guy. A bit of history. When Nixon was in the heat of the Watergate scandal, he denied his role in it. George Clinton famously dismissed rumors that he had relations with that woman, Miss Monica Lewinsky. Even our own Mwai Kibaki came out to the public and he said what? I have only one wife.
Lucy.
Lucy.
Who is here.
So clearly there is a precedent of heads of state coming out to put scandals to sleep.
Yes.
So why is Ruto silent on the matter? What is he afraid to address? In my view, the answer is quite simple. And this is what Prof always tells us.
Yes.
The only way to confirm a rumor is to deny it. If Ruto comes out against the ICC, it is as good as admitting that their case has merit and that he is guilty. William Ruto does not want the public to know that his lawyer has been accused of witness tampering. William Ruto does not want the public to know that according to the ICC, this witness tampering benefited him in 2013. William Ruto does not want the public to know that if his lawyer is found guilty by the ICC, he might be next.
Will be next.
So his solution is to keep quiet. If he doesn't deny it, it isn't true. But as I said, in 12 days, when the trial begins, all will be revealed. And if I were William Ruto, I would be scrambling. Anyway, we'll keep you guys, we'll let you know what's happening. The Githeri media don't want to tell you, so the Fifth Estate will.
Maybe it's because they just don't understand it.
Speaking of laws and what is happening in the Standard, the Star, People Daily, there are a lot of things that are unfolding in the chambers of Parliament. And in respect of that, we have to say that the 2022 election will not be decided on 9th August 2022. No. The election is being decided as we speak. In Sun Tzu's The Art of War, it is written that every battle is won even before it is fought.
Correct.
This means that the essential factors that determine victory are established long before the battle is fought.
Yes.
Some of the key factors that will determine the outcome of the August 9th election are hidden in plain sight.
Yes.
In the IBC election timeline that was gazetted last month, and in the Political Parties Amendment Act 2021, which the President also assented to last month, and even this new elections bill.
Yes.
So what are some of these factors? When we look at the IBC 2022 election calendar that was gazetted recently, we should pay very close attention to the month of April. Two key things will happen. Firstly, 9th April is the deadline for the submission of coalition agreements.
Yes.
So it will become abundantly clear what the political formations are. And as at the Fort Hall School of Government, we will also be more certain about how the tyranny of numbers will look like.
Correct.
Secondly, political parties will be required to submit the names of their party members and persons contesting in the party primaries.
Yes.
And by the way, the Political Parties Amendment Act has also introduced a management information system. So the issue of party membership is going to be very important. What this also means is that all those Tanga UDA MPs hiding in Jubilee will be exposed.
Yep.
Yes.
And they will face the full force of Section 14 of the Political Parties Act, which basically states that any person who joins another party will be deemed to have resigned.
Yes.
And the Constitution, at Article 108, tells us that when this happens, the office of that member of parliament will be vacant.
Yes.
The Political Parties Amendment Act has now also enhanced Section 14 to give a clear step-by-step process of how exactly such members will be dealt with. This is because when Jubilee Party tested the waters of Section 14 by expelling some nominated senators who had crossed over to UDA, the courts took issue with the process.
Yes.
Now, it was genius on the part of Jubilee not to try and expel all party traitors at once, because we know Kenyans are litigious. So Jubilee knew their decision would be challenged in court. Once the court rendered its decision, Jubilee took notes and updated the act to make the process clearer. So now it will be difficult for Tanga to hide behind court orders. Now, this is where it gets slippery.
Yes.
Tanga MPs being expelled doesn't guarantee that they will automatically get UDA tickets. And even if they did, it would still be a problem because a lot of people will be unhappy.
Yes.
And because UDA nominations will be messy and many people will be unhappy, we will see a lot of independent candidates.
Yes.
And this will be possible because the deadline for those who wish to run as independent candidates to quit parties and submit their names is not in April, but in May.
Yes.
This fallout will make William Ruto lose many votes.
Yes.
And it will be easy for him to lose votes because this is what happens when you have a movement based on euphoria and the cult of personality rather than something that people can believe in.
Yes.
But the point to take away is this. We should pay close attention to the things that will happen in the months leading up to August.
Yes.
Essentially, the election began on 20th January, the day IEBC gazetted the date of the election. The election is being decided as we speak.
You know, CS, last week I told you that William Ruto is not a member of UDA. William Ruto is still a member of Jubilee.
Exactly.
Which makes him Azimio.
Yes.
So his candidate is
Raila
Odinga. And by the way, if he resigns if he defects to UDA, he'll have been deemed to have resigned from Jubilee. And so are his members. Anyway, this Thursday, I will not speak about those yellow and green mascots. Today we will speak about infrastructure. A wise man once said, when you don't invest in infrastructure, you're going to pay sooner or later. Why am I saying this? In just 2 weeks, President Uhuru Kenyatta has received 2 East African leaders. And what brought them here? Kenya's new infrastructural pieces. In fact, today, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame visited President Kenyatta, and all he did was marvel at Kenya's new infrastructure, the new Nairobi Expressway, SGR, Lamu Port, the new Kipevu Oil Terminal. The man was impressed. 2 weeks ago, Uganda's President Kaguta Museveni sent his son to see how Kenya's new railway network has shortened the distance between Mombasa and Kampala from 6 days to just 30 hours. In fact, just yesterday, President Museveni ordered Uganda's government to use the port of Mombasa to ship in all construction material she will need in the construction of the new Uganda-Tanzania pipeline. It is apparent to the rest of the region that Kenya is Africa's newest logistical hub. Kenya can actually evacuate goods and capital faster to its neighbors than any other sub-Saharan country can from country to country. Fact.
Fantastic.
And that's because President Kenyatta decided to be bold. There's not a single African country that has constructed a seaport since colonization. But Kenya has built Lamu Port.
Yeah.
There's not a single country in Africa that has built 11,000 kilometers of road in the last 9 years. But Uhuru has. There's not a single country in Africa that's connected more power or more homes to power than Kenya has. In fact, Kenya, in the last 9 years, Kenya has connected more homes to power than Egypt. It has connected 300,000 more homes to power than Nigeria and South Africa combined in the last 9 years. For the first time in Kenya's history, we are connected to 4 out of 5 neighbors by a tarmac road. You can now travel from Kitale to South Sudan in just 4.5 hours. You can now travel from Isiolo to Ethiopia in just 4.5 hours. Prior to that, it took 2 days to travel both distances. And it's not just roads and rail, but fuel transportation. The new Kipegu oil terminal can process 750 million liters in one go.
Wow.
This is equivalent to 9 times the monthly fuel requirements of Uganda. And that's not all. Uganda, which solely relies on Kenya for its fuel needs, doesn't have to wait for 6 days for fuel to be cleared at the Malaba border. The new MV Uhuru delivers fuel from Kisumu to Jinja in only 15 hours and at half the cost. Look, I could go on and on and on. Fact remains, if Uhuru had not focused on infrastructure, Tanzania and Ethiopia would have been East Africa's new economic and logistical hubs. In other words, had Uhuru not invested in infrastructure, Kenya would have paid a high price sooner or later.
Well said.
And isn't that the big picture point that people really need to look into?
Yeah.
It's one of those things of you need to do a bit of suffering now so that you pay the price in the future. So or rather you don't have to pay the price in the future. Kenyans need to be a bit forward looking.
RUTO wants us to deliver oil to Uganda in wheelbarrows.
God forbid.
Dressed in that yellow and green.
I mean, on a lighter note, there was a tweet going around today from somebody in Zimbabwe. And he was calling upon his fellow, brothers and sisters in Zimbabwe. And the picture was of the expressway, right? And the new tallest building in Kenya. And he says, my brothers and sisters in Zimbabwe, you need to be more like your Kenyans, like the Kenyans, right? Look how they invest in their infrastructure, in their leaders, and look what they get.
2J, that is actually across the board. There are debates every morning in Dar es Salaam radio stations on which African country has built better infrastructure. Is it South Africa or Kenya? I mean, it is only you Kenyans that see wheelbarrows. Other countries are seeing you, and they're seeing you as the home of opportunity. But anyway, you can.
If you want a wheelbarrow, take it.
Yeah, you can take it.
On that note, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to look at the headlines. We ask ourselves, is the headline topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and finally thoughtful or just plain lazy? Let's look at them quickly. The Daily Nation, Raila Kalonzo team plot mega alliance, and the remaining 3 are all about this bill. I would like to, in the interest of just information, toss the Standard, the Star, and the People Daily. One, because they're all very misleading. I think it is misleading to say that the bill has already passed. It was just introduced to the floor of the Parliament recently. So until we know more, let's ignore it.
Absolutely.
Do we give the Daily Nation, Raila Kalonzo mega alliance our winning headline?
I think so. We give it to them.
Fantastic. So on to the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country, where we also have a 3-part criteria. Along the same lines, we ask ourselves, is it topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and finally, thoughtful or just plain lazy? I think let us start with the Daily Nation. CS.
So we have a cartoon here with a tent and a man inside the tent that's being pushed out by a camel called joint nominations, and the tent is alliances. And actually the biggest problem, as I was saying earlier, is going to be for this UDA guys. I mean, the other day Johnson Muthama came out to say that they're just friends.
They're just friends.
Character development loading.
Right? But I think part of the strange thing is I think people have seen the costing that it's for people to join parties for the primaries and the nominations and whatnot. Can you imagine somebody coughing up 100,000 shillings for an MCA or an MP position, only to realize that there is no room for you in UDA? So you leave that 100,000 shillings and then wander out in the darkness as an independent candidate. Really? I would rather give my money or keep it in my own pocket, be independent, than give it to UDA that is hungry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
use it to campaign as an independent candidate.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And which Mama Mboga can pay 500,000 anyway.
Tell me that. All right, I think we're going to keep that while we look at the Star.
Yeah, the Star, you have Ozone there. There's caricature of Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi. And they've thrown bulbs in the names of Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula. You can see them down there. And they're fixing Martha Karua and Jirongo, you know, on what's that bulb thing called? I don't know what
on the screw.
On the screw.
Yeah.
The caption there is fixing the screw up. Oh man, it wasn't stopping naughty here.
Davidi's face, it looks like he's strangling.
Yeah, but look, I think what Ozone does not get here, and maybe it's not his fault, that Kalonzo is the new swing. Whatever happens in this election, Kalonzo Musyoka will have a say in who will become president.
Yeah.
And that's if you have an election.
Oh, yes. All right, so are you saying that you'd like to toss the Star?
Yes.
I hear you. All right, and then finally we take a look at the Standard. We have Gado, and we have a comic strip. In the first frame, we have a picture of Nyerere, and he said that Nyerere preached water and drank water.
Yes.
In the second frame, we have Mwini,
Yes.
who says he preached water and wine and he drank water. The next one, we have Mkapa, who preached water and wine and he drank water and wine. In the fifth one, we have Kikwete, who preached water and drank wine.
Yeah.
The second to last, we have Magufuli, who preached neither water nor wine, but he drank water and wine. And then finally, we have Samia Suluhu, who is deciding between the water and the wine.
It's a dilemma.
Yeah, dilemma. I guess the contradictions of Tanzania's leaders.
Gado doesn't want to go back home, man.
He doesn't know, but I think he can go home now. I think that Samia is a little bit more flexible. A funny cartoon nonetheless. I think
let's see if it stays that way if she drinks the wine.
Right? I say we toss the Standard. Do we give the Daily Nation the winning cartoon?
No,
I don't think so.
There's a rubbish cartoon.
I think today we have no winning cartoon, but we do have a winning headline from the Daily Nation. Thank you for joining us tonight. I want to leave you a quote from Henry Ford. I feel like my Thursdays will be full of Henry Ford. He said that money doesn't change men. It merely unmasks them. If a man is naturally selfish or arrogant or greedy, the money just brings that out. Food for thought. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, you can find us on your TV screens. We're on Pang Free to Air, GoTV, and Star Times. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click notifications if you watch us on YouTube. Have a great evening. We will see you tomorrow.